Hey everybody, hope you're well. NBA Finals in just a few minutes, right? But guess what? NBA Commissioner and all-around great guy Adam Silver is talking as I speak. You might be able to hear faint echoes of his voice from downstairs, but he's at the dais talking to the assembled media at Chase Center, and he basically put the squash on something that you've asked me about, and he did so thanks to a question that was issued by Brian Long of CBS and I believe SF Sports Newsfeed. But at any rate, the question was for the purpose of what we're interested in: will the NBA expand to Las Vegas after the 2023 or 2024 season? And the commissioner said that's in his way of giving long answers. He said that the answer is no. There is no talk of expansion inside, okay, inside the walls of NBA headquarters at all. He said the talk about that is going on outside with folks like us, right? But they have no, he didn't mean to say official. He just said it's not happening. Brian was trying to tie it to some sort of concern of, no, it's not already done. Brian was trying to tie that to some concern over talent spread, which is an issue, right? And the commissioner did address that and said that was a factor. But here's where a lot of you are confused. And here's why I didn't jump at the bait when someone tried to put a comment on the live stream as if a deal to bring the NBA to Las Vegas had been done, when in point of fact that nothing had happened. There's a great deal of confusion among you, and I've seen this for a number of years now, about what the difference is between the intent of a proposed development and what that becomes when it's actually built. Just because the Oakview Group says they want to bring NBA basketball to Las Vegas doesn't mean it's happening right now. Okay? It doesn't mean it's going to happen next year. Okay? It doesn't even mean it's going to happen the year before that. There are a lot of basic financing. Hey, Barry Lee, how you doing? There are a lot of basic financing tools that have to be assembled and agreements with the NBA, among others, that have to be done. And when those agreements are done, you will know about them. I will know about them. I may know about them before you do. You may know about them before I do. Okay? But in either case, we'll know, right? But it's not happening right now. And I really ask people to really just, rather than go and put out fake stuff, okay? Hey, Barry Lee, Adam Silver basically said there's not going to be an NBA expansion to Las Vegas. Not now, not in the foreseeable future, all right? Or anywhere. He wasn't singling out Las Vegas. It's just that Brian Long happened to refer to Las Vegas as one of the cities that has been the talk of being a recipient of an NBA team. In the case of Las Vegas, there's a logical reason to expect that, since the Oakview Group wants to bring NBA basketball there. Now that sentence I just uttered sheds a spotlight on the problem with Brian's question. To get a better answer, what Brian should have asked is, if, assuming he knew about the Oakview Group, I'm going to assume he didn't, but if it were me, I would have said the Oakview Group has a plan to build a $3 billion sports and entertainment facility to draw NBA basketball. Are you aware of it? And if you are, can we say that Las Vegas will be a NBA host city in 5 years? That's the question that would land right between the eyes of the commissioner and give the appropriate response. Having some feel for how Adam Silver talks is I think I do. I think Silver would have said, I am not going to get into speculation regarding the future, and I'm not going to get, this is the new thing, okay? I'm not going to do a hypothesis or a crystal ball. They have their plans in development, and let's see what happens. That's the kind of answer I would expect the commissioner to give, because he doesn't want to tip his hand one way or the other for a whole host of reasons. That's not the way he works, okay? Now, I will say this about that. Team expansions and relocations are seldom clean. Seldom clean. You can look back through history, all right? You can look back through history and see example after example after example where team expansions, or excuse me, I should say league expansions leading to team relocations, or expansions in terms of establishing a team, have always produced, to some degree, a negative reaction from some place. And that is to be expected in the case regarding Las Vegas. If it happens that rather than getting an expansion team, they convince another organization, like maybe Portland, I don't know, to relocate. I don't think that's going to happen at all. But there is one common element in all these expansions. There's an owner that has the money to make it happen. And when I say an owner that has the money, I mean has the resources to cause the other owners of the league to want to have that person in their club. That's the number one factor at play in all of these. So in the case of Las Vegas, you tell me who the money people are. I don't know. In the case of Las Vegas, tell me what politicians are lined up behind it. I haven't seen them. I'll ask. But for somebody to come on here, as someone tried to do, and say, well, it's a done deal. Look, I have half a mind to take that comment down, but I'm in a good mood, so I'm not going to do that. But don't do that. Don't do that. It's not a done deal. And for anyone out there who wants to prove it's a done deal, send me the documents to prove it. My email is zenny@zenny62.com. Okay? Clear evidence, but this crap about writing BS online has got to stop. That's fake news. When I see the fake news coming from a channel called Peanut Butter, it has peanut butter in its name, I know not to believe it. Sorry, that's just the way that I roll. I don't believe comments. I believe documents. I believe evidence. Enough about that. Now, is that to say or express how I feel about expansion to Las Vegas? I think it'd be fantastic. Anything Las Vegas can do to continue its inexorable march to becoming a more mature city with sports teams and amenities is fantastic. It's not there yet. It has NFL football. Okay? That's what Las Vegas has, which is a great thing to have. But it doesn't have Major League Baseball. It has Major League Hockey, which is another great thing. But it doesn't have Major League Basketball or National Basketball Association. All right? That's not to say that Las Vegas can't get those things. But the common money players that make that happen are not as prevalent in Las Vegas as they once were. Sheldon Adelson's passed on, rest in peace, the great builder of Las Vegas. the money that his Las Vegas Sands controls is focused Macau. Is there anybody else? I don't know. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Government investment has pulled back a bit. There are pockets of money here and there, but we don't have government putting in the requisite level of investment to make these future projects happen in the United States. And that's the biggest problem, because there is a direct correlation between not just this rise in inflation, but this slowdown in our economy with this reduction in government spending. Think about it. These prices are going up because you have firms out there seeking money to make up for the fact that they're not making a lot of money because of the pandemic. Government is not providing relief. For government to step in and provide for price controls would be damaging from a different way. It would be further choking off those companies' ability to make what revenue they need to survive. So what's the best answer? Government subsidies yet again. That's the answer. And if you're concerned about overheating the economy, inflation rates, I have two words for you. Price controls, which would work in those situations. But blaming inflation on government subsidies, even as those government subsidies have decreased dramatically, is stupid. It's not at all. It's not the subsidies. It's the supply chain damage and the reduction in those subsidies in the American context, which are the problem. People need money. So they're not going to do the normal things they used to do for the same price. They're going to seek more money to keep their operations going. That's only logical. All right. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark OaklandNewsNow.com. Go Warriors. Got my shirt on. See? From Oakland. Stay golden. Oakland needs an NBA team. Oakland needs an NBA team. We have to fight for expansion. See ya.